What if young people design the future of education? Starting this Friday and over the weekend, we had 140 activists aged 15 to 25 and coming from across 50 countries who gathered to discuss this question. On the first day, they discussed the what is of education, from its history to its innovations. Yesterday, we went on a radical reimagination journey, exploring what if and creating new visions. Explore what now and what steps to take to make our visions a reality. With Youth by Youth, we aim to accelerate the process of young people influencing, designing, and transforming their learning experiences and their education systems. We start with what is because we think the first step when talking about changing education is understanding and agreeing on a new purpose for education. Our purpose as individuals and as societies is our flourishing, our well-being, and the full exploration and expansion of our potential. But as it stands, it is not the purpose of schooling. Schooling's main purpose is to supply the economy with the next generation of workers in order to serve our global goal of perpetual growth, which we know is causing the collapse of our climate systems and threatening the very future of our youth. For so many of them, COVID-19 has opened their eyes to the climate crisis, to racial justice, to dramatic national and global inequalities. They are feeling real existential dread, and they're starting to awaken to the fact that in the face of potential civilizational collapse, they're being asked to study hard in order to get a good job and compete with one another for a seat at the top of a crumbling structure. The absurdity of this situation is not lost on them. More and more are wanting their education to change in fundamental and transformational ways, not to improve little bit by little bit. But young people think that if they wait for their governments, it will never happen. They are conscious that schooling is not working for a majority of them, whether they're privileged or not, whether they live in Zambia or in the USA. For instance, one of our trained youth hosts of our group of 20 exceptional young people who co-create Youth by Youth with us and facilitate daily small group dialogues, told us that before this experience, he thought his country of Nigeria was the only one that was this bad, and just realized the extent to which the problems in education are truly global. For young people, and to be very frank in my experience as well, schooling feels like it is disconnecting us from our creativity, from our interests, from our natural curiosity, from our cultures, and from our places. And that has been the case for a while. But fortunately, this unique time of disruption is opening a window for the transformational agenda of education to be possible. A transformational agenda that I think lies at the heart of a necessary planet transition if we are to have a viable future for generations to come. The reason we started Youth by Youth is because we believe that the only way we can transform our education at scale, globally, and rapidly enough is through a youth-led, adult-supported revolution of our education. This starts with the personal reclaiming of our education. And by that, I mean reclaiming our agency over our time, our attention, and our energy to start to focus a lot more on who we want to become and who we need to become. We believe young people should have agency over their education and that their human rights are being violated routinely. The United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child, the UNCRC, which is the most widely ratified human rights treaty in history, clearly states in Article 11 and 12 that children have the right to be heard and should be considered in policymaking regarding their education. This is clearly not a reality in most places. This is why, at the closing of the Y by Y that we're going to have in a few hours, we will be launching a global petition. We ask for every education ministry to be in consultation with representative youth councils that are given real decision-making power. We ask for education policies to be systematically approved by young people prior to being implemented, and for youth councils to inform and lead solutions to school challenges intensified by COVID-19, including widening systemic inequality and declining youth mental health. And finally, we ask for schools to stop having the monopoly over education by recognizing out-of-school experiences as integral to our education, from online classes to time in nature. We hope to be able to share this petition with you, Stefania, and with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. And we hope many of you can join us. Young people need to know that they have adults and advocates by their sides. And adults need to share with them better information, knowledge, and most importantly, wisdom. We are in this together, and we're welcoming all voices that feel a sense of alignment with this message to collaborate, to co-create, and to start this journey of global education transformation and planetary transition together. Thank you very much.